Hello lovely humans, how are you doing today? I am so happy to be chatting with you again because today I am going to be talking to you about how to know if you are on the right path for you. Today I have Joy with me because we're going to be talking about choosing the joyful path and how to know if we are on that path, and if we happen to not be on that path, how that's not exactly the end of the world because we could always start over on a new path. Now in life we all need to do something that potentially leads us to be able to support ourselves. That's just the world we live in. That's the society we live in. Unfortunately, there's really no changing that. So we have to either go to school or get a job, or go to school and then get a job. And we all know that's how the world works. But whether or not you have a job that you're kind of okay with and you do other things on the side that you like more, or you love your job and it's your biggest passion, the whole point is figuring out if you deep down are actually happy. And the only way that you'll know if you're fully happy is if you are on the right path. So how do we know if we are on the right path, and what kind of things factor into that and help us really figure that out for ourselves? I'm going to give 3 really easy tips and examples on how to examine if you are on the right path, and it'll really help you kind of gain some insight into how your life's been going, how you're feeling about things, and if you're not feeling so great about them, how maybe changing them might be a good idea. Now, I am only speaking from personal experience because I have been there, guys. I've changed my life path and my direction a million times, and it took me a long time to figure out what makes me truly happy, and I'm not ashamed of that. So here are the 3 ways to figure out and know if you are on the right path. Way number 1. What you have chosen to do with your life. Did you choose it yourself? Now go back in time right now, lovely humans. Remember, what made me choose this thing that I'm doing? If you're currently a student, what made you choose to go to the college that you go to? What made you choose to major in what you're majoring in? If you're out of school, what made you choose the career that you now have? Go back in time and remember the first initial thing that caught your interest or made you kind of choose this direction. Now, this is the thing, lovely humans. When you go back in time, you'll remember how you were feeling back then and what was going through your mind. And this is super important. Our memories are our greatest asset and our greatest tool to really dive deep and discover our true selves. So remember what made you choose the path that you chose. Did you want to go down that path because it interested you? Did it really interest you at the time and now it doesn't interest you as much? Compare your past self to your present self. If you chose this path because someone else suggested that you chose it and you didn't really want to go down it, you didn't really want to take this road, have this career, go down this path yourself, but you did it because you felt it was right, you might not be on the right path. If you chose it because you were initially interested in it and you still are and you still feel happy, then you probably are on the right path. Now, this could happen too, and this is a great example because this is what happened to me. You might have initially chosen your path because you were interested in it, but now things have shifted and it's no longer what you want to do. That is possible too, and that is another sign that you're not on the right path. So if you answered no to any of those questions, if you feel totally content, you've always wanted to go down this path, study this subject, have this job, and you're totally happy and you're glad that you did, then hey, congrats, you're on the right path. That is awesome, and I'm happy for you, but a lot of us can't all be that lucky. So if you answered one of the other 2 results, either you initially had an interest in this, but now you're not so interested, or you only did this because other people told you to, or you felt it was right, or for some other reason entirely, then you might be on the wrong path, and that's okay. You're not stuck there. So if you feel you might be on the wrong path, ask yourself this second question. Your emotions. How are your emotions affected by your current life choice or profession? Now, there are 2 different emotions that I want to focus on. Boredom and anxiety. Now, there's a reason that I chose these 2. I feel that most people that are in a profession that's not right for them or studying something that's not right for them experience either one of those 2 emotions or even both. So let's talk about the boredom side of things. Do you feel excited to go to work every day or go to school? Do you feel driven to learn more? Do you like being there? Does it make you feel pumped up? Does it bring up your light energy? Or do you just kind of go through the motions because you have to when you get used to it, and it's kind of gets to a point where you feel kind of numb, but you're like, this is life and this is what I have to do and this is how life works? you might be bored with what you're doing, and that is a sign that you are not on the right path. Now let's talk about anxiety. Do you feel relaxed when you go to work? Do you feel at ease? Do you feel generally just kind of content? I mean, okay, at our jobs, we're not always going to be at ease and relaxed because jobs get stressful sometimes. But I'm talking like generally, people, like in general. If more times than not you're feeling negative feelings, anxiety, feeling overly stressed, feeling like this intense pressure where it's hard for you to focus, then your path might be making you anxious, and that's another sign that you're not on the right path. So if you feel bored and dull with what you're doing and like all the life is sucked out of it and it feels like something you have to do, but it doesn't even make you remotely feel energized, that's not good, and you don't have to follow that path. You don't have to stick with that. If it makes you feel ultimately super crazy negative emotions such as anxiety, worrying a lot, freaking out, I mean, okay, personally guys, that's what happened to me. Every time I've been on the wrong path, it's really given me intense anxiety and just feelings of just self-doubt and negativity. Even sometimes feelings that I couldn't even explain. In general, jobs or school or things in life that we have to do to support ourselves are going to get stressful, but they shouldn't get stressful to the point where it's destroying your mentality. So ask yourself, do I feel overly bored and dull about my path, or do I feel super anxious or uncomfortable about my path, or do I sometimes feel both? If you've answered yes to any of those questions, you might be on the wrong path, and then you should move on to asking yourself this final third question. Does your path feel authentic and true to you? Now, this sounds like a really big question, right guys? But it's really kind of easy to answer if we take time to sit there and think about it. Do you feel like this is right? I mean, you are yourself, you know your interests, you know who you've always been. So do you feel like the path you're on is making you the best version of yourself? It's an easy question to answer if you really just kind of sit there and think about the overall situation. We're not always going to find our dream jobs. We're not always going to be in our ideal positions in life. But if we are genuinely happy to be ourselves, happy to wake up each day, happy to just kind of be alive and have this unique life that we're all given, then the normal everyday stresses aren't going to matter that much because we are genuinely happy. And if you're not genuinely happy, then you could start over on a new path. Things are going to get stressful, but they get more stressful if you're heading in the wrong direction. So I'm not saying that you're gonna end up with your fantasy dream job. Maybe you will. I'm a strong believer in, believing in dreams coming true, manifesting those dreams, seeing them happen, because that's what I like to do. I like to be positive and believe in those things. But I'm not saying we're all gonna end up, rich and famous with crazy awesome lives traveling the world. Like, I'm not saying that, but there is a way for your life to be your own fantasy in reality. Even if you have to go to work, if your job isn't your dream job, find something in life that you do each day that is your dream. If you do want to pursue your dream job and you went to school for something else, go back to school for your dream job. It's not always that easy, but if we ask ourselves these 3 simple questions, it could help us determine if we're not on the right path. And once we know we're not on the right path, we could always start over on a new one. So I hope you will think about these 3 points that I mentioned, lovely humans. If you're feeling discontent in your life, if you're feeling like you need a new start, if you're feeling like it's just not seeming right to you, it's not feeling authentic for you, just know that it's okay to change your mind. People do it all the time. It's totally normal. There's nothing wrong with you, and you're allowed to do it. And hey, if you choose to, the more power to you. So that's all for today, lovely humans. Remember, we can always choose to be on the right path. Life is never too short. There's always time to start over, and I will see you guys next time. Have a lovely week.